guys, this is Sutonia here, and I'm here to give you a dual prop Taranis guide. This is for a dual prop Taranis. It's not for the Ancillary rep and lost Taranis, which I think is also a viable fit. I just prefer the dual prop Taranis because it's better for my playstyle. I prefer the Afterburner. It allows you to be more aggressive. It's also a better range control tool in straight up 1v1s. And I'll probably do a video on dual prop explaining the differences. Anyway, this is the standard dual prop Taranis. It hasn't really changed at all. So light neutrons in the highs, you know, utility offline module. You can go with a salvager or a core probe launcher are good ideas to use. You don't need Tech 2 here, by the way, it's probably a waste. And dual prop with scram, then max dab, Tech 2 micro auxiliary power core, damage control, then two power grid rig, two damage rigs. I'm using Tech 1 rigs on this Taranis, mostly because the market hub kind of sucks here in Agile. But you can use a Tech 2 damage rig, Tech 2 burst aerator, and a Tech 1 ambit. This is slightly better. You do lose a bit of raw DPS, but the damage projection is a lot better with the ambit. But it does cost a bit more, about 6 or 7 million, depending on how much the Tech 2 burst aerators are selling in the region. And of course, the Taranis is unique among all the interceptors is that it actually has a drone bay. It has a decent drone bay with 2 Warrior 2s. You actually get 32 DPS out of it. So the Taranis is the slowest interceptor in the game, but it also does exceptional DPS. The Taranis actually out damages a lot of cruisers. And its damage is actually on par with some destroyers, some LR destroyers. The high DPS of the Taranis allows you to kill targets really quickly, so it's great for fighting against blobs and fighting against disorganized gangs, because you can easily kill their interceptor or their fast tackle and then leave, simply because of the high DPS you have. And for implants, unfortunately I don't have any because Agile is rubbish, but you want to go with a 3% hybrid implant and a 3% whole HP implant. One of the weaknesses of this Taranis in particular is for roaming, you don't actually have any way to repair yourself. So what I do is I take a mobile depot with me and a small rep and a small hull repairer. One thing to know about the small hull rep is the meta versions actually have actually only take up 5 M3 instead of 12.5 that the Tech 1 version costs. So I definitely recommend picking up the meter versions. This is going to use up almost all of your cargo space, which can be a problem because the Taranis you won't be able to carry much loot away with you. So let's look at a few fights with the Taranis. Okay, so this is a fight against a crow, and against any long range interceptors that are faster than you, you need to be able to slingshot them and get them into scram range. So what I do is I align to an object, or you can double click in space, and then as soon as my Microwarpdrive cycle finishes, I come back in on him with an overloaded cycle. And I'm also looking at the where he is in orbit, so that I know as I'm coming in is when his orbit is really wide and he's approaching me. A good way to see this is to look at the angular velocity column or the traversal column. You can tell when they're coming at you. That's the point where you want to go back in at them. So even though this crow was faster than me, I was able to kill him. Okay, so this is a fight against a Republic Fleet Firetail, and against all autocannon ships, you really just want to be up close. We both have a tracking bonus, so there's no way I'm going to be able to evade his damage. Against the Rifter, for example, which has a fall-off bonus but not a tracking bonus, you'll want to just get on top of it. But against this, you'd probably just want to try and win the DPS race against a Republic Fleet Firetail, and you want to keep your Since this fighter has rockets, I want to keep my Afterburner on and overloaded as long as possible. So this fighter actually turns out to be a dual tanked fighter. It has a medium shield extender and a small ancillary rep, which you'll see just now. And this fight actually ends up being super close. But you can really see the strength of the Afterburner in this fight, because it only does his rockets are only doing 5 damage to me. Okay, this is a fight against a Taranis and a Caracal kind of. What you want to do against another Taranis is just want to orbit at a longer range and use Null. And the reason why you want to use Null is because a lot of Taranises will just load antimatter expecting a brawl. And especially if you end up against the Afterburner at the web and ancillary rep Taranis, because you're faster than them. So if they load antimatter, you can just win the fight outright. You can see they actually doesn't really do any damage to me until this point, and it's mostly all from the Caracal. So this Caracal actually ends up having a scram, unfortunately. You know, if I was fast, I would have actually gotten out of this fight. You see, I will die here, but I actually get out of scram range the split second that I die. You see here, like if I was faster, you see the scram drops and then I die. If I was faster with the hotkeys, I would have gotten out there. That's just something that I can definitely improve on. I definitely need to work on getting better with hotkeys. You know, slightly better micromanagement there. I would have lived. So this is a fight against the Rifter. Against the Rifter, I'd recommend getting a tight orbit on here, because the Rifter doesn't have a tracking bonus, and you do. But I still recommend loading Null, however, because you just don't want to take the risk of getting kited. And Taranis with Null actually out damages a Rifter or ranges, even with barrage. So even if it's in in a kiting fit, he's not going to win the fight. A Rifter's really outclassed by the Taranis. I think it's just worth showing you anyway, just the optimal play to do. So, and this is another strength of the Taranis, is it can just punch through ancillary reps so quickly. Now versus a Crusader, obviously you just want to get pretty close. I recommend having Null loaded, and you know, I actually use Null in almost 95% of the cases unless I'm fighting something big and slow. I just want to get on top of the Crusader. I was already in about 60% armor from before, so I think that's why the Crusader tried to recklessly go for me. But yeah, in a straight up brawl you can beat the Crusader, but it's actually pretty close. I mean, if he kited me better with Scourge and didn't just engage me at 0 on the gate, then that could have gone really badly for me. So this is a fight against a Duranium. It's actually a 2 versus 1 kind of. At least Randolph, temporary blue buddy, saved me here, kind of. I'm pretty slow with the Afterburner here. Like, I'm really slow. I should definitely need to get better at using hotkeys. As you can see, I'm about 6 seconds slow with the Afterburner. And when you're fighting a Duranium like this, you probably just want to double click in space the direction that he's moving. You still actually get good hits on a Duranium, even at 7 kilometers, 8 kilometers. But this Duranium actually kites me very well, and so I decide to leave. While at least Randolph is finishing him off. This is a fight that is winnable. Against a good Duranium pilot, you're probably not going to win, but it is a fight that it can be worth taking. Especially if you think the Duranium pilot might be bad, or the fit might be bad. Okay, so this is a fight against a Rupture. Actually, it's an artillery Rupture, but you can pull this off against a autocannon Rupture as well. You probably want to load antimatter when you're fighting any ship, not Void. So I loaded Void initially, but then I switched to antimatter, and it is actually possible to kill all 5 warrior unbonus warrior 2s before you actually die. So you can actually kill ships like if a ship doesn't have a nuke, then you can actually kill them, kill a lot of cruisers. So I dealt with all his drones. They were Hornet 1, so this is actually quite a young player. And I'm not turning on my Afterburner, mostly because I just wanted to be able to track the drones better, because I know this Rupture doesn't have a web and he's not going to be able to track me anyway. But against a situation where you're against a cruiser with a web, you want to turn on the Afterburner. This is a fight against the 4X, and I started recording late, unfortunately. Also, this 4X, actually, I shot his drones, then he called them in, then he put them back out again, but he never set them back on me. And in this fight, I do actually have links. The only relevant link here is the rapid deployment link, but I could have just overloaded my Afterburner to get the same effect as that link, and it's not needed at all. Just to point out, this is the only fight in the video where links are involved, but they don't make any difference on the fight at all. And that just shows you how powerful the Taranis' DPS is. You can just get through. Even this 4X had a Ancillary rep, and then the 3 rep rigs, as well as a damage control and an energized adaptive, and he still gets through his overheated Ancillary rep. Okay, so that's the end of the video. Thanks for watching, guys. There's not really a lot of technical information in this video, mostly because of how the Taranis flies. That covers the turret interceptors. Not going to do the Raptor because the Raptor sucks. Sorry. And the Malediction and Crow are good, but they're not my kind of thing. And the Ares and Stiletto are sort of pure tacklers. You can fit them for solo, but they're not really that good.